Ah, yes. 2015. Boy, it sure does feel like a long time ago that Barack Obama was in the White House. But today we're going to be looking at 2015. We're not going to be talking about Syrian refugees or the Iran nuclear deal. We're going to be talking about prog rock and the 25 best albums from that year. This was a hard year for me to rank. I started doing my prog year in review feature for the Fire Note in 2016. So I kind of had to build this whole list from scratch. Whereas, the previous years that I've been doing, I actually had my list that I could use as a template and just kind of, tweak it. So this was difficult from that perspective, but it was also a really good year with a lot of great albums. So there's a few that I left out that I'm feeling a little salty about here, but this is my top 25, and we're going to start in Boston with Native Construct. The album's called Quiet World. These guys are a progressive metal band, but they throw everything in the kitchen sink, kind of like Metropolis Part 2, Dream Theater, where, yeah, it's real heavy, but then they'll throw in some old timey ragtime sounding stuff. Well, these guys, they throw a lot of that in, but they also throw in some yacht rock, and then they'll do some crazy heavy stuff, and then some Queen like vocals come in. It's a cool record. I'm really sad to say that these guys broke up, so we will not be seeing album number 2 anytime soon. At number 24, we're going to New Jersey and Aduent with their album Silent Sentinel. And these guys are real similar to Gentle Giant in that they use a lot of modal harmonies and medieval types of sounds to their music, but wrapped up in a more modern context. Really cool record. Waiting for a new one from these guys. It's been 7 years. At number 22. No, 23, dummy. We're going to Beardfish, Sweden. Yeah, Beardfish. The lead singer is now in Big Big Train. These guys broke up, but this was their final album called Plus 4626 minus Comfortzone. I have no idea what that means. These guys are great. They use a lot of modern sounds, but they throw in a little bit of zap wackiness to the mix. It's really cool. At number 22, now I'm at 22. Prayers to the Ukraine. Anthony Kalugian and Karfagen come in with album 7. This is a great album from him. All his stuff is great. Camel inflected stuff, primarily instrumental. Support Ukraine, support Karfagen. At number 21, let's go to Swindon and Thieves Kitchen with Clockwork Universe. Yeah, this is a band out of Swindon, but they augment the band with some past and present members of Angligard, so it's got a really cool sound. They're very symphonic, female vocals, great, fantastic stuff. I really like them a lot. At number 20, let's go to Russia. We don't really want to go there now, but Pandora, Snail, War and Peace. This album is amazing. I haven't heard anything about these guys since this dropped. It kind of reminds me of klezmer a little bit in that it's got that Eastern European folk kind of influence, but the violin kind of makes you think of that gypsy music, but these guys are awesome. The melodies are amazing. The drum sound is cool as kind of that trash can drum sound that I really, really like. Fantastic, all instrumental, very cool. Number 19, let's go to Greece and Ciccada with the album The Finest of Miracles. This was their second album. They dropped an album last year that was fantastic. I really like this one a lot. I just listened to it again last night and I was actually blown away with the songwriting and the melodies. Yeah, it's on the folk side, very Mediterranean, but it's terrific. At number 18, speaking of Mediterranean music, we're going to Italy with La Concienza de Zeno and the album La Notte, Anche di Giorno. I have no idea what any of that means, but this band is terrific. This is their third album. They put out one since, I think in 2018, but this album is my favorite from them. They kind of, harken back to that traditional Italian prog rock. So my point of reference here with these guys is probably Banco del Motore Soccosa, but it's really, really great. Number 17, Spock's Beard, the Oblivion Particle. This was the second album with Ted Leonard on vocals. It's not quite as good as the first one with Ted, but this album is primarily on this list because of Bennett Built a Time Machine, one of my favorite songs of the last 20 years, written by the great John Bagel from Pattern Seeking Animals. It's just an amazing song, sung by Jimmy Keegan, the drummer. So it's the only song he ever sang with the band. Fantastic stuff. Number 16, let's go to France and Alco Frisbass, their first album, while they were still a two-piece. This is very avant-garde stuff. It's real trippy, kind of rockin' opposition-y, but I really enjoy what they do, and you won't even notice that that's a drum machine. It's not real drums going, but I really enjoy this album. They've got two more since this came out, and they're both great. All three have made my lists, so Alco Frisbass is 3 for 3. Number 15. You're going back to New Jersey, baby, with the Tea Club and Grappling. Dan and Patrick McGowan are brothers. They both sing. They have amazing voices. This is a hard band to pin down. They are clearly capital P prog, but they sound so modern, like the Deer Hunter or Mars Volta even, more folk version of it. This is a real dense album. It takes a few spins to really figure out what's going on and let these melodies sink in, but the Tea Club is fantastic. Really, really great stuff. At number 14, Hasse Fröberg, Musical Companion. The album's called HFMC. This was the third album from this outfit, and it was the first one that I really, really loved. The first two were okay. The next two were amazing. This one kind of sits in the middle of their discography quality-wise, but anytime Hasse Fröberg's singing, I'm going to be listening. At number 13, Squids, the great Dave Kerzner makes the list. Yeah, Dave Kerzner is a guy that's been around forever. He was in Sound of Contact with Simon Collins. This album is called New World. I believe it's his first solo album. It's really, really great. Imagine Pink Floyd mixed with Genesis. You kind of have an idea of what Dave Kerzner's all about. He's a big Genesis guy. In fact, I think he's got all of Tony Banks' old keyboards he bought. I guess Tony ain't gonna need them anymore with Genesis gone, right? At number 12, we're back to Italy with Unreal City, and the album is called, oh boy, El Paseo de Tramonto. This is a band out of Italy, from Parma, Italy. They're younger. I think they're all like in their 20s. And they got that young energy, that young spirit. They do a great job of marrying the old RPI, the rock progressivo Italiano with a more modern sound. The youthful energy is great. There's Mellotrons and Moogs and Hammonds. There's everything you want in a prog album on this thing. Unreal City is a band to look out for. Their third album came out, I think, in 2017 or 2018. It was great too. I really like these guys. At number 11, Asturias. From Japan, the album's called Missing Piece of My Life. I have been a convert to Asturias for a few years now. Their last 3 or 4 albums have been really, really great. Instrumental stuff, real energetic stuff, but it's prog through and through. I just really, really like what Asturias does. At number 10, Magic Pie from Norway. The album's King for a Day. This is a fantastic album. They've since put out one which is even better, but I love this album primarily because of the sidelong epic. The title track is like 25 minutes long, and it's really, really good. At number 9, how about some neo-prog with the Comedy of Errors and the album Spirit? You guys know me. I'm not a huge neo-prog guy, but every now and then there's a band that just rings my bell, and that's Comedy of Errors. I really like Joe's voice. I really like the songwriting here. I like the atmosphere, and I like how it doesn't forget to rock. Sometimes neo-prog, little little slow and depressing and morose sounding, but not Comedy of Errors. These guys are really, really great. Okay, at number 8, let's go back to Japan with Yuka and Chronoship and Third Planetary Chronicles. Man, I cannot believe how little attention Yuka and Chronoship get. They put out 4 albums. All 4 of them are fantastic. This third album is really, really good. They put out a 4th album a couple years later, which was even better. But man, Yuka and Chronoship, this is a girl who plays keyboards. It's primarily all instrumental. Somebody a few years back said, hey, you should listen to this Emerson, Lake and Palmer band. So she did. She fell in love. And next thing you know, she's starting a prog band and all the players in her band shred. Yuka and Chronoship. I'm going to keep going to bat for these guys because somebody needs to. Okay, number 7. We talked about him a little bit earlier. Casey Concienza and The Deer Hunter with Act 4. There was an Act 5 a couple years later. I really like all of it. Act 1, 2, 3, 4. They're all really, really good. Yeah, he's kind of on the modern side of the prog spectrum in that there's, alternative flavors and emo flavors. But the receiving end of Sirens was where this guy came from, and it obviously sounds like he learned those lessons, but he likes the prog, so he takes this music, this modern sounding music, and crams this prog sensibility into it. Man, if you don't know Deer Hunter, they're one of the better modern prog bands out there. Really, really love them. At number 6, it's that time, isn't it? Number 6. We're doing Riverside and Love, Fear, and the Time Machine. This was the last album with Peter Grudzinski, who sadly died shortly after this album came out. This album is their first true progressive album for me. Their earlier stuff was a little heavier. This still has that heavier edge to it, but it's much more prog. This is capital P prog, where their other stuff might have been kind of borderline. Oh, Riverside is amazing. If you don't know them, check them out. Yeah, from Poland, Poland's finest. Now we're going back to Sweden, and number 5, it's Anekdoten. Until All the Ghosts Are Gone. This is an amazing album. Anekdoten's been around for a long time, since the 90s. They were one of the first of that third wave of prog. They started out sounding a whole lot like King Crimson with, very Mellotron heavy. But since they've opened up their sonic palette quite a bit, the dude from The Church makes an appearance on this. It gives you an idea that their horizons have expanded a little bit. And for my money, this might be the best thing Anekdoten's ever done. At number 4, the Neil Morse Band. Yeah, I'm a sucker for Neil Morse. This is the Grand Experiment. This was the first album with this 5-piece band. Yeah, I got them all to sign it. Isn't that cute? Yeah. Love this album. Obviously, the epic is where My Heart Lies, Alive Again, but I love the opening track, how it starts with that a cappella. The title track is so Styx infused that if you close your eyes, you might actually think it is Styx. Oh, this is a terrific record, but the cool thing about the Neil Morse Band is they just got better and better after that. At number 3, going back to the UK, Andy Tillison and The Tangent. This is a spark in the ether. When I was writing for the Fire Note, this was my very first 5 headphone review that I did for the website. I just love the artwork. I love Andy so much. Very cool stuff. This is kind of part 2 to The Tangent's debut album, The Music That Died Alone. He's really taking a hardcore look at the music industry and prog in general. Yeah, there's all kinds of references to Emerson, Lake and Palmer and stuff, and it's just a great album. I love Andy Tillison. He's got a new album coming out later this year, so we'll be talking about that. At number 2, we're going to France and Nemo This is called Coma. This was their 9th and final album before Jean-Paul Louboutin, JPL, put the band on hiatus and started concentrating on his JPL solo albums. This album's amazing, but fear not, Prog fans. The JPL stuff's even better, but this album's fantastic. Very cool artwork. I love it. I love Nemo. I love it. JPL's a genius. I've said it before. I'll say it again. But there's one album that, you know, if you're a Prog fan, you know what I'm going to be showing here at number 1. It should be no surprise because it is the best album of 2015. And honestly, it's not even close. You could make a strong case that Steven Wilson, Hand.Cannot.Erase is the best thing Steven Wilson ever did. I don't know. I like the Raven a lot too, and I like a lot of the Porcupine Tree stuff. So I'm not quite ready to make that pronouncement, but anybody that wants to tell me this is his finest hour, I'm not going to argue with them. It's amazing. Every song on here is great. Home Invasion, Ancestral, the title track, Perfect Life, all that. And you get David Gregory from XTC too. I mean, this album is amazing. I love Steven Wilson. I love Hand.Cannot.Erase. It's emotional. It tells a great story. And that's what we want from Prog, right? You know, we want our Prog to mean a little bit more than those other, you know, tepid, vapid forms of music that other people listen to. We listen to the good stuff, right? I mean, we listen to the good stuff. We listen to the prog rock. That's what it's all about. I'm Scott from the Prog Corner. Hit that subscribe button. Like this video. Share all my videos. You know, hit that notification button so next time I publish a video, you'll be the first one to see it, first one to comment on it. But hey, y'all. I am Scott from the Prog Corner, and I will see you kitty cats later.